Public education funding is comprised of two components. One, the local component, which is a function of property taxes and the community's wealth, income, and ability to tax. And the second component is funded by Chapter 70 education. Generally, the foundation formula takes into consideration the maximum a community can afford to contribute towards public education as part of the overall formula, and then the Chapter 70 funding complements that to equal the full foundation spending amount. The formula was last updated in 1993 when education reform happened, so it's been 26 years now, and the needs of the students have changed over that time, and also the inflation of certain expenses, whether it be health insurance, special education, have also increased dramatically.
Tonight, superintendents and their business managers or school committees from these 11 districts will provide a brief summary of the gaps in required funding in several areas, including health insurance, special education, teacher staffing levels, and other categories.
What's needed in the form of the update right now is one, reimbursing districts more accurately for health insurance costs, two, the special education costs, getting a better formula to reimburse districts through the Chapter 70 foundation budget versus the circuit breaker foundation funding, and really also for urban districts, recognizing the needs of English language learners.
Whether you are from a large, small, urban, suburban, or rural district, your community school system and all our students would benefit from an updating of the foundation budget.
Well, if the status quo, meaning the current education funding formula, is maintained, there will be reductions in services and staffing levels, and the quality of education will suffer across the state.
I have two communities that believe strongly in education. They believe that the Constitution of Massachusetts, when it put public education front and center of its statement of what it believed, that we should be standing behind that. The reality is, I have community members who are not wealthy but who strive every day to do their best for the children and the future of their two communities. And over the 21 years, I've seen that our communities can't move forward like we should in education because we are fighting a battle of trying to stay the course of where we are.
The criticality of this is very high. We need to have that foundation budget reviewed and updated as soon as possible. Currently, Governor Baker and Senate President Spilka have indicated their willingness to look at that. The House almost came to an agreement last budget cycle with the Senate. There are some differences. Hopefully, a forum like tonight can educate members of the community and the elected officials to get a new formula passed this next budget cycle.
And for those of you who don't know me, prior to running for office, I was a community organizer for public higher education funding. And Massachusetts has been very proud of the leadership role we've played in public education for a really long time. We are falling behind. You have heard repeatedly from people on the panel and people in the room, we aren't fulfilling our obligation according to our Constitution. Kids should not have different opportunities based on the zip code their parents can afford to live in.
This morning, excited that we have such a nice crowd as we open up the IdeaLab formally. Part of what we're doing here is trying to create an opportunity to convene different groups of people, to have opportunities to look at problems, share ideas, realize dreams, and with the realization that different audiences look through different lenses and bring different perspectives to different problems and ultimately come up with different solutions. And that's what this was all about. It certainly germinated initially from the university, faculty, and students. expressing the idea that they wanted to have an opportunity for a space essentially to play outside of the university environment, a playground, a sandbox, whatever you want to call it, where they could do some interdisciplinary exploration, where they could interact with the community and address some real world problems and sort of create that connection between the expertise that is our faculty, the talent of our students and the needs of the community, and this was a space for us to do that.
Obviously, what we've accomplished, what we're beginning to accomplish, and it's statecraft at its best. This is like the aircraft carrier. It takes it a while to get going, but once it's going, it's formidable, and that's what's happening out at City Hall, the Bank of America building, and certainly here. So we couldn't be happier with the collaboration with Fitchburg State University. So very, very important to the city as a partner.
Yeah, this is really a place where I feel like I can really get my ideas down. Every day I come in and I am just so excited to be in this game design lab. I'm so happy with what Fitchburg State has really given me here.
And to see the growth of this university in my town, I could not be prouder. It is spectacular. And I will tell you today, when I look out and I see all these young faces and I see the energy and the enthusiasm and the intellect that's going on, I can't wait to read in the New York Times or Time Magazine or at CNN that some idea that changes our lives in this whole world was germinated at the Fitchburg State University IdeaLab. And that's what I hope and that's what I expect of you guys, so get to work. Thank you.
On March 3rd, 2018, over hundreds of fans gathered at the Walk Civic Center on the campus of Fitchburg State University. That same day, they all witnessed history as 25 young men from the Fitchburg State men's ice hockey team came together and won a championship, earning their first ever ticket to the NCAA tournament.
It is the MASCAC Championship.
It was a storybook ending to a season that every player, coach, student, and fan will remember and never forget. FATV is here to tell you this story.
Looking for a chance in front, tries to find Cook. Olsen moves it along, it's taken away, could be a breakaway. It's Hayashi going to go!
A story with in-depth interviews with players, coaches, and more.
And it was just a great moment that I'll never forget.
Never forget that moment, and it's all about memories. That's all we have at the end of the day.
And then to go to the NCAAs, it was, obviously exciting.
McPherson at the point. McPherson winds, fires, deflected, score! It's Kyle Hillick with the deflection. Now Fitchburg will try to rush up ice. Morilla stays on side. He's got this one. He shoots and scores!
Still hear that crowd, feel that energy, and we are here to take you down that skate to glory.
And then Tyler Morilla puts it in the back of the net to give the Falcons the 2-0 lead. And this is why Nick DiNicola leads the nation in assists. A beautiful feed to Morilla, and he's able to beat Michaels to make it a 2-0 lead. Time will run out for the first time ever. The Falcons will fly on to the
FATV presents The Falcons Fly On. Coming soon to FATV.
So there's two aspects of today's event. One is a job fair where Central Ave Compassionate Care and Gage Cannabis Company will be advertising available positions and positions that will soon be available within the next weeks, months or so. And then the second piece of it is a resume workshop and information workshopping that's available to people that are looking to get into the industry but maybe don't really know how, or do I have the right skills, what kind of positions are available for me, to kind of help guide them into the industry. Central Ave is a currently operating medical marijuana dispensary in Air, and we're hiring for a number of positions there. Gage Cannabis Company is a recreational retailer that will be opening sometime in the next few months or so, that has a number of positions opening up there as well. Back in 2012, Massachusetts voted to legalize medical marijuana, and that's when the industry first kind of began in Massachusetts. A number of dispensaries will be opening in the recreational market since that industry has gotten up and running over the past couple of months. So there's a ton of opportunities both in actual plant touching type facilities like cultivations, product manufacturing, retailers, but as well as other businesses. There's all kinds of construction, security, transport, packaging companies, so it really kind of ripples throughout the community. So there are direct and indirect financial benefits for sure. Having a retail, the town has an option to put into place a 3% tax off any retail sales in town, and that goes into their general fund, which is a great financial incentive for a municipality to have a retailer. On top of that, there are, of course, opportunities just to stimulate the local economy. Depending on the size or type of operation, there's job opportunities immediately in there. They also bring on board contractors to help build out, legal, as I was saying earlier, security, and then there's, of course, the impact of just having an operation with lots of employees in town. They stop for gas on the way in, they go out for lunch, they go on a coffee break, and if it's a retailer, then those people that come visit the retail shop also maybe stop for lunch, grab a coffee on the way home, so it can really stimulate the local economy, certainly. So in Massachusetts, there are a number of communities that are not very happy to see cannabis come into their communities, but there are a number of communities that have embraced it as well. Fitchburg is certainly one of them. Both Central Ave and Gage are located in Air, and there are a number of communities that are taking it and running with it, which is great. If somebody was not able to make it out to this event today, and they're still interested in applying for a position, they're welcome to submit a resume and cover letter to careers@centralavecare.org. But we will also be holding many more of these, so we hope to have an opportunity to meet people in the future.
There are 6 retail locations downstairs.
Okay.
One is occupied, but it'll probably change over in the next few years as we build it out. There was a restaurant here that used to support the old city hall. There's a good possibility that would come back.
Right.
The theater project, sort of playing games with historic tax credits and new construction, might require us to cut into some of those stalls. Old theaters, it's been kind of funny. So the theater was built in 1929. In 1929, no one apparently was as tall as you, and
Or as short as us.
well, I think actually we were the norm.
We were the norm. That's right.
Because the seats are this wide, the foot space. You got to turn sideways to get into the restrooms. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So we have to blow some of that out now,
Yeah.
because theaters, I think, are moving towards using lobbies as sort of multi-flex space,
Right.
whether it be weddings or art gallery, whatever it might be. And so we'd like to be able to be flexible there as well.
Cool. Well, I did just hire our legislative director. He'll sit in Washington, but he knows the district really well. In fact, I worked with him in Washington years ago. He was actually Senator Kennedy's economic development director, so he knows his way around. He knows how to be scrappy about funding, but he also knows the district really well.
So the whole space, really, in general, in the IdeaLab is sort of a sandbox to play. It's a convening space. It's designed to bring students, faculty, the community together to play with ideas. We were excited about the space because it's going to be right across the street from the new City Hall. We wanted to create sort of some one-stop shopping here.
Right.
You might have seen when you came in, we've got mass development here. We've got New View is here to help sort of with strategic planning. There's Mark back there. We're trying to connect the Chamber of Commerce. They have a micro loan program, so for risky ventures that banks wouldn't want to take on, perhaps that's an opportunity. So if we can try to provide general guidance for them to play.
Great.
Auditorium facing the Art Museum will have that will have a lot of the common space there. But this building here, gyms will turn into two-story townhouse style apartments, and this will be the 1 and 2 bedrooms here, and we'll have some 3 bedrooms in the annex and in the stables as well. Yeah, it's been a great.
And then they can show their wares right across the street. Is that the plan?
Yeah, well, the plan is that the museum is committed not just to help with the marketing for the project. We're going to work with the tenants when they move in to help them
promote their
and get established, do cross-marketing, cross-programming, professional development. We can employ them. We can sell their work in our gift shop. We can work with them on their open studios projects. So
good.
We're all in.
Win-win.
And the Art Museum is working in collaboration with New View to turn the whole thing into about 62 units of affordable live workspace for artists.
Good.
Trying to keep Fitchburg State students
here.
Yes. And we're also trying to attract new people to Fitchburg to establish a thriving creative economy in the
So would
city.
a live workspace in here, would it, you just named off a lot of like diverse, types of jobs. So I would imagine artist space needs less space than a culinary space.
Right.
But could it also support a family? Like how does that?
Yeah, there are 1 and 2 3-bedroom units.
Really? Wow.
And we're working with the architects right now to, there's going to be private workspaces and shared workspaces. And we're trying to figure out the right, calculus for that.
Oh, that's exciting.
Structurally sound, and also just rebuilding the roof. Now it's weather tight, so now we can start finish up all the interior work that we need to do, and then we'll be sitting for a little while or arranging the rest of the funding and permitting and everything else. But the city did a great job of giving us the funds so we could preserve the building. Without the roof, it just was not going to last any longer. And one of the things that's so important is there are a lot of federal funds here. So the fact that we're preserving this historically that's all federal state historic tax credits, and also there are also low-income housing tax credits here too. That's the 2 engines that really make this go. So the historic tax credits, you're seeing that in both projects that you saw today, and it's so important that made it through that tax cut bill.
Dean Fuller, hockey coach, Fitchburg State, and in my 35th season.
35th year as head coach, what has that been like for you being at Fitchburg State all these years? Obviously the league has changed over some time, divisions, the MASCAC, joining that, forming that. What's that been like for you?
Well, it's, first of all, it's been a lot of fun. I mean, I enjoy going to the rink every day. In the 35 years, gone pretty fast. It really has. I've had a lot of great players. But to me, I enjoy the challenge of putting a team together. And when at the D3 level or college hockey, you play a lot of roles. You've got, you're the head guy at practice. You do a lot of recruiting. You're handling a lot of situations. So it's never boring. So I have no complaints.
How have you guys stayed focused into this year? You have a bunch of your players coming back. You're a young and talented team. You got a lot of your front line coming back, Fee, Nicola.
You lose only 4 guys. How are you guys staying focused? You guys are still a very talented team.
So why you recruit competitive kids. I mean, so it's like, every season's a new season. And I just looked at this team is new, and everyone's going to have new responsibilities. So, it's a fresh start for everybody. So some kids that are fourth line kids, you're going to have an opportunity to maybe move up to the second line. See how you developed, how hard you worked in the off season. If you put your time in. So to me, it's a new beginning. And the past is the past, and we're just focused on putting things together for this year.
You guys played an undefeated February last year. Is this kind of the start, the build that you guys kind of want to have going towards the MASCAC playoffs, and then maybe further on?
Well, I think to win the MASCAC, you can't falter. I mean, I think we pretty much have to win out. Because Plymouth is good, they're talented, they got like a huge senior class back. Obviously, they're disappointed the way things end, so they're going to be motivated. But we got to take it one at a time. Concentrate on each week, each game, get your 2 points, and just set yourself up as best you can for the tournament. To be honest, I don't really look much in the past. You know what I mean? Whatever's happened. I mean, it's like we won the MASCAC last year, but it has really nothing to do with what we're trying to accomplish this year. It's a whole new team. It's a whole new locker room. You got to coach the kids that are in that room, and it's nice talking about last year's championship. But to be honest, I haven't really given it much thought since we won it.
The fundraiser game, what do you want to tell viewers about this game? I know you guys plan really, really hard from it. Just tell me the prep that kind of goes into this first, and then just what it really means for your hockey program and ALS.
I mean, so this is our 5th fundraising game. We started out with the Wounded Warriors game, and then we had 2 pink on the rinks, and last year we had Terry's game. And over those 4 years, we've raised over $50,000. And so this year, when I was teaching at Fitchburg High School, one of my co-teachers was Deb Roberts, and her husband Glenn passed away from ALS. And so we've teamed up with Glenn's friends to play a game in his honor for ALS. And the cool thing is that we've had a lot of meetings. We've got a lot of input, got a lot of people working on it. We're selling tickets for $10. It's a doubleheader. Fitchburg High plays Lunenburg, so it's $10 a ticket and for both games. So we're looking forward to it. Deb's been great to work with. So we're looking for a big game. We're playing Plymouth that day. So, you got a huge impact hockey game. It should be fun to watch. And it's going, we're going to raise over $10,000 for a good cause.
Awesome. Are you guys painting the ice this year or no?
No, we just do that for pink on the rink.
Okay.
And the college was awesome in helping, pick up the price tag for doing the pink on the rink. And so, we try to do 2 years with each charity. Looking forward to our association with the ALS and Glenn's friends.
Awesome. Any final messages that you want to throw out there about ALS or your coaching experience or even winning the MASCAC last year?
No, pretty much. Just come out in the ALS and get out and see this team play. I mean, it's great. Division III hockey is very entertaining, a lot of fun. I got a lot of great kids, and come out and enjoy.
Well, good morning. I want to welcome you to Fitchburg State University and our new IdeaLab. My name's Rich Lapidus. It's my privilege to serve here as university president, and we're pleased to be able to host the Lieutenant Governor today and the other Urban Agenda Grant awardees. Just really briefly, as I was looking over the urban agenda criteria and sort of boiling it down to its essence, there were kind of 3 things for my local group that I wanted to share. I think it boils down to having strong local leadership. I think it has to do a lot with the creation of an impactful program that's going to meaningfully change the way your community operates. And then I think there's an important collaborative piece here. It's not just one group, but it's much broader than that. And so I think that we're, at least in Fitchburg, I feel as though we're really moving in the right direction. Things are looking up. We look up and down Main Street. There's all kinds of projects going on. It's much bigger than this. We're excited about this, but we're, I think, equally, if not more, excited about the things that are to come. And so we're really, I think, on the move and moving in the right direction.
And I'm just so happy to be here in North Central Massachusetts. And what I love about these gatherings is that it allows the host community to show off a little bit and for the guests to come and see how communities like Fitchburg are planning and collaborating and taking advantage of the resources with the state partner to catalyze and leverage local investments and partnerships and getting like some great stuff done.
The Baker-Polito administration, once again, I mean, this is a small grant, but once again, and it's an overly used term, but I'm going to use it anyway. It's another component of our toolbox that makes the city of Fitchburg progressing and being an on-the-rise city.
And I want to thank you, President Lapidus, for seeing this building as hard as it is to restructure and rebuild a facility like this. You took it on. And we want to thank you for being a great partner. I was here just, it feels like a short time ago, and it was just a shell. And you clearly have exceeded my expectations of what's here. And it's really exciting, not only the finishes and how beautiful this space is, but that your graduates are coming here, students are here, and they're working in the innovation economy through game development and design. They're starting up businesses. And the most important part of this is they're staying in this community. That's the key. That's the success story.
The grant that the city of Fitchburg received today is a wonderful grant. It will allow the city to promote entrepreneurship, attract businesses, and create jobs. It is a vision that the Baker and Polito administration share, and that is something that I am incredibly proud of being part of. I should also add that this administration added well over 200,000 jobs in the last term. And that is a goal of ours in this city and in my district, is to help grow that number starting here.
As nonprofits and as municipalities, first of all, working together and really knowing who is in your neighborhood and who you can work with, and taking advantage of these state resources. We have a lot of grant programs, and you're being really smart about stacking them up. And when you stack them up, they add up to a lot, and they really are impactful in your communities. So keep up your good work. We will continue to be a reliable partner.